Hi guys, welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV. This is the post-match fan phone-in show after the Tottenham 3, Kobe 2 huge victory in our latest pre-season friendly. 3 out of 3.
Come on.
Probably the best pre-season record we've had since that incredible Juan Ramos pre-season where we won every game and then didn't win a game in 8. 2 points in 8 games leading to Juan Ramos's sacking and Harry Redknapp coming back in. But I'm here with Amir today. Amir, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm very interested to hear what our guests have to say about that amazing performance by some of our youth players. So really interested.
Certainly in the second half, the youth team players came on and really showed us the talent that they have. In the first half, we also played well. There were some standout performances from the likes of Archie Gray and a beautiful goal from Pedro Porro. But really, it was, I think, as Amir says, the big takeaway was once all of the kind of under 21s and lower came on in the second half. We really showed what a depth of talent, young, burgeoning, exciting, forward-thinking, progressive talent we have on the books.
Yeah, big time. Honestly, after that 60th minute, it's almost like you got those fresh faces on, fresh legs, and they were just playing without any fear, doing what they want, flicks, tricks, no-look passes. You had a bit of everything in there from the youngsters, and I'm sure we'll get into it with our guests. It's
we will.
Phenomenal performance by a lot of them.
We were particularly impressed by, as I mentioned, Archie Gray in his 60 minutes on the pitch, and then, but also Jamie Donnelly came on, Alfie Devine came on and looked great. Lucas Bergvall is my favourite. I just think he's an unbelievable player. But also, Will Lancashire came on up front and showed that he has some real number 9 qualities. He's had a great pre-season so far. Has been really impressing the staff at Spurs, and of course the pièce de résistance, Mikey Moore, 16 years old, got the winner, but also just showed so much guile and vision in his cameo.
Yeah, he did, and you know what? It just shows you the resilience of the kid, missing a big opportunity and then still getting your name on the score sheet, not letting your head go down. Absolutely phenomenal. Just got to look after him, make sure he's on our books for the long term. Yeah. And we're going to see. I think we're going to see a lot more from him this season than what fans expect, to be honest.
I hope so. And you mentioned it, it's true. Hopefully the Europa League offers a really good opportunity for some of these young players to get genuine senior minutes. Guys, if you are watching and you don't already, please do press that subscribe button to subscribe to We Are Tottenham TV. Give the video a like. We've got 100 of you watching live at the moment. Let's bring that up. Let's get as many Spurs fans in here as we can and talk to as many of you as you can. And also, come to my channel at @BarnabySlater_. I give you daily Spurs and transfer content over this summer. So go to @BarnabySlater_ for that. And you can find Amir at the Olive Tree Podcast.
Olive Branch.
Sorry, the Olive Branch.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Don't worry.
But let's get talking to our first guest, and it is Allan. Allan at Tottenham Logic TV. Allan, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can,
Perfect,
Allan.
loud and clear.
Yes. How are you, mate? Did you watch the game? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I watched it on Spurs Play. Not that the signal was that great, to be honest. But yeah, it was good.
I've been hearing lots of bad things about Spurs Play this pre-season.
Yeah, it's not been the best, but if you come out of it, go back into it, it's okay. It's not too bad.
So what are your overall thoughts on the performance?
So good in patches. We're playing against a team that's, in the middle of their season at the moment. So you could see that they were more energetic at first, but as soon as they scored, you see the Tottenham players change completely.
Yeah.
I'd say, like you were saying before I came on, in the second half, it seemed like we had even more energy than we did in the first.
Big time. To me, it looked like when those fresh legs came on around the 60th minute, we looked, supercharged, basically, Allan. Who stood out for you coming off the bench?
Definitely Bergvall. 100%. He looks so comfortable on the ball. Yes, he gave it away a couple of times, but it's because he's trying things. And that's what we're always moaning about, aren't we? Players not passing it forward and not trying to break the lines. And he was doing it every time he got the ball. He looks so comfortable as well.
Oh, I fully agree with that. I really think, his progression, his ball play, his control, phenomenal. And for a kid that's only 18, that really is very impressive. What about Mikey Moore coming on and getting the winner, Alan? How do you feel about that? 16 years of age.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, and I don't want to, we always try and overhype our youngsters, but I'm old enough to remember Paul Gascoigne. And the way he is on the ball, the way he runs with his chest pumped out and the confidence he has, it reminds me of a young Paul Gascoigne.
Wow.
I know that's high praise, but he does look like that at the moment. And he's 16 at the moment, 16. He's not 17 till next month. So it's crazy how good he is. And that no-look pass he did, that obviously in the second half, where I didn't even see that pass on that he did. No, that one where he passed to Spence. I didn't even see that pass coming.
No.
So that's incredible to have that at 16 already.
It's incredible. And I was saying this to Amir during the watch along. How important do you think it is, Alan, that as the Spurs fan base, and I think almost particularly the Spurs fans in the stadium, that we allow these young players to make those mistakes in front of us, because we cannot batter out of them this fearlessness that they have. We've been wanting for 4 or 5 years now to play good football and to make chances and to be brave on the ball. So we're going to see these players make mistakes. Archie Gray had one bad touch that led to a goal, but the rest of his game today I thought was outstanding. Bergvall will want the ball all the time from the centre halves, take it on the half turn, and every so often he will give it away and maybe goals will be scored. But we need to almost, I think, know that this is going to happen and not kind of tut and moan with 60,000 of us in the stadium when it happens, because if we allow them to be as good as they potentially can be, then it will benefit the entire club for years to come.
I agree 100%. And if you think about it, we'll score more goals playing that way than we'll give away. So it's better playing that way all the time. There's no point changing just to please the fans. You've got to play forward-thinking football, and that's what Ange wants, and that's what all the youngsters are doing, and it's brilliant to see.
Completely agree. And yeah, you said it exactly. It's what Ange wants. This is what Ange is drilling into them. Did you see that social media video from the QPR game that they've released this week, where Postecoglou just gave kind of like a pre-season version of his pre-match team talk, and he just went, "You're wearing Tottenham shirts, let's play the Tottenham way." Yeah. And it's like, I know to some people, maybe a younger generation than mine, maybe that won't mean a lot, but to me, like having similarly grown up with Paul Gascoigne, grown up to dare is to do. And then also, I think most importantly, having had Conte and Nuno and Jose, just how important that is to me, and knowing that Postecoglou understands it. It feels to me like we're in the right place, and we're at the kind of starting point of what could be a very fun journey.
And it's similarities to when Poch first took over in his first year. We didn't do much in the first year, but you could see massive changes. And he was getting rid of all the players that weren't following what he wanted to do as well. And Postecoglou was doing the same thing. So it's good to see.
Okay, Alan. So obviously we've got a few more pre-season games, a couple against Bayern, one in Korea and one at Spurs, which I think has basically been put in as part of the Harry Kane deal, hasn't it? So that should be kind of Kane's goodbye. I don't know whether he'll be fit to play. He certainly wasn't fit to play during the Euros.
I've heard that he's not playing though. I've heard that Kane's not.
He's definitely not in the. I know he's definitely not playing in the Asian one, with the one in Asia. But maybe he'll come and speak to Paul Coit or something. But I'm just wondering where you feel, Alan, we're at in terms of that Monday night football against Leicester, that first game of the season. I know it's 3 weeks away still, but are you confident we can have as good a start to the season? I mean, we drew our first game last season away at Brentford, but do you think we can have as good a first 10 games of the season as maybe we did last year?
We've got harder fixtures than we had last year, no doubt. There's no reason why we can't play as well for the first 10 games. But we do still need a couple more signings, I think. I still think we need some more up top. I don't think we're too bad in the centre and in the defence. It's just up front. Because as soon as, Johnson's having an off game or Werner's having an off game, we've got no one apart from Sonny really doing anything. Because Richarlison's going to be injured, he is. So we do need more up top. So if we got a Tony in, I'd be a lot more confident.
We didn't mention, because he wasn't on the bench either, Timo Werner once now. Is he injured? What's happened with Werner?
I'm not sure.
I think he was sick. I think he's sick.
He's sick, okay. All right, well, look, Alan, thank you so much for calling in, mate. Have a lovely rest of your Saturday, and I'll be in on Wednesday if you want to give us a call after the next friendly as well.
All the best,
Brilliant.
Alan.
Yeah, I probably will do, mate. You take care, yeah?
Nice.
Top
take
man.
care, Alan.
See you later.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Brilliant.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Very good of Allan to come straight from the gym to talk to us, I thought. Lifting some serious weight, clearly. Talking about men who lift serious weight, Brian, how are you?
What an introduction. I was about to say waking up at 5:30 in the morning. Definitely not in the gym, but how are you both? And how is everyone in the chat?
Loving it, mate. Loving it. Good way to spend a Saturday morning watching Spurs play some football. What did you make of it overall?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I mean, let's have a serious chat about how good this young crop of players coming through are. Archie Gray, sorry.
Yeah.
Obviously, many people were thinking, okay, he's too young. He is showing that this guy is a serious talent. Now, people can throw back at me. Yes, it's been Hart. Yes, it's been QPR. And yes, it's been, sorry, I can't remember the name of this team. But
Kobe.
Kobe, so the team we just played. He's played in defence. He has been one of the best players on the pitch when he's been on there. He is showing, for me, he's a starter straight away. Like, instantly, Leicester, he starts. Then you look at people like my boy Alfie that's come on and done incredibly well and taken his opportunity. You got Donnelly, Moore, Lancashire, Spence. And do you know what? We are playing more the Tottenham way when they come on in the second half than we do when most of the first teamers are on in the first half. So it's incredible.
Yeah, completely agree. How do we find a pathway for all of these players to reach their potential, Brian?
I'm very torn with this one because I would love Alfie to stay, and I'll speak about Alfie because he's my number one guy. Alfie Devine, I've been saying for ages, is a special talent, but I'm now kind of at the point where is he good enough to keep around the team, but is that going to be a detriment to him? And we need to get him first team minutes to really shore him up and everything. And my heart is torn. If it was my heart, I would say I'd love Alfie to stay. But I think he needs to go to a top Premiership, Championship team, or a team that's going to play him in the position Spurs want to play him.
Yeah.
And I'll give you the prime example. The place I'd love him to go, Barnaby, is Ross Barkley has just left Luton.
Yeah.
Send him to a Luton under that manager. Yeah. I think he would thrive.
Yeah. I was saying earlier they've been interested in Jamie Donnelly as well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we all know how good he's been last year. He has come in, and he, again, like I said with Archie in central defence, he's been playing left back. He's a bit more advanced today. He's brilliant. But when it comes to the first teamers, just very quickly, there's two people I want to call out, or not call out, but speak about. First one, Kulusevski, who I am very critical of at times, very critical when he's out on the wing. But when he plays central, he looks like a different player. Yep. He looks like a completely different player, and it's just finding how he slots in. Is he coming off the bench? Is he a Maddison? If Maddison's not, I don't know what we do with him. I have to say, when I see him out wide, very critical. Central, he proves me wrong and is an asset in that position. Yeah. And the one I don't get is why are we playing Emerson Royale? And I don't mean that in a bad way because he's bad, but if this deal is close, surely you don't risk a player from getting an injury if they're about to. Those two are what I took from the first half out of the first team. As I don't know what you guys thought.
I thought exactly the same when it comes to Royale. It's very, very strange, Daigle, to be honest with you. Maybe it's a sign that the talks are breaking down and that he's staying. I don't know. But that, to me, would indicate something is going on in terms of Royale's departure. But with regards to Kulusevski, I think he did phenomenally well in the false nine. We saw him come in at the end of last season and play that position. And he's just a bit more unpredictable in that position. And he's got that physicality that he can hold the ball up really well. I think Kulu needs to stay. There was talk, of course, Napoli were interested and a couple of other clubs. But I think Kulu is mustard. And if he's played in the right way, in the right system, I think he'll get goals week in, week out. But Daigle, I want to talk to you about our young talent, Mikey Moore, the 16-year-old coming on, gets a winner, misses a golden opportunity, but with his header.
Handball off the line as well.
Handball off the line, and then goes and gets the winner from a lovely ball floated in by Donnelly there.
Donnelly.
So, tell me, what are your thoughts?
I put a tweet out a few weeks ago, and I said, listen, he is our Wayne Rooney, he is our Robbie Fowler, and some people took it the way I meant it, like the youngster, he's the one that's going to come through and do it, and other people thought I was actually comparing them to saying he's as good as them, like in their pomp. This guy is special. We've had many false dawns with there's a talent coming through, there's a player there. This guy is insanely special, and he's only going to get better. And the thing is, what I've been seeing as well, when anyone tweets about it, like Spurs fans, and they've been tweeting or social media, you've even got fans from other teams going, do you know what, the hype is real with this one. I've seen him for England, and this guy looks like Spurs have got a diamond in their midst. He just, nothing fears him. He hasn't fully developed yet. We've got to remember he's 16. He's soon to turn 17 in a couple of weeks or so. He comes on and he's just, listen, you can only come on and score or assist, get an assist in the position he plays, and he's doing it every single time he comes on. And you add to that as well, which I didn't mention as well with you guys, how incredible does Bergvall look? Now, I know it's pre-season and it's only been 3 games, but you can see something in him. And I don't know if he's in the chat. Yes, he is in the chat. A good friend and supporter of all the channels, Tony Rodriguez, who's from Sweden and has watched him regularly and has said, listen, he's done it. He's got the talent, but we're going to have to be patient. Wait till he comes up against Premier League opposition, which is, you know what, fair play. Fair play. He knows a lot better than we do. But from what we've seen, his vision, he just looks like he's got a bit of Dele Alli's arrogance as well. He puts a tackle in. He looks. We can only go by first impressions, and I have to say, the first impressions, I'm very, very excited. Very excited. I'm not going to go full blown. Oh my God, look what we've got. But from what we've seen to begin with, there is something very, very special about this guy potentially, and I can't wait to see him develop.
No, I agree, and I've been saying it. Like, there's a fearlessness about a lot of these young players that I think if I was a slightly older midfielder, I'd be a little bit nervous. And I'm thinking particularly, actually, I wanted to ask you about Rodrigo Bentancur, because he's had a difficult summer, to say the least. Obviously, you know, made an ill-advised joke at the expense of East Asian people, and then also got involved in the, you know, throwing something into the crowd at the end of the Copa America and stuff. And frankly, since his injury and then getting re-injured again, I don't know if he's got enough kind of minutes in the tank and kind of points in the bank even to say to Big Ange, I should be starting ahead of Lucas Bergvall, for instance, but based on the way that Bergvall, for me, glides around the pitch, wants to be on the ball all the time, is fearless in his playing of balls between the lines, presses really high, and just seems to be a natural fit for what Ange wants his midfielders to play. There's a part of me that wonders if, you know, if there was any interest in Bentancur, whether we'd be willing to take a hit on that.
This is the thing, Bobby. When is he actually scheduled to be back? Is he meant to be joining up with this tour, or is he going to be available for the Bayern? I'm not too sure when is.
Yeah, my guess would be not, because they got to the latter stages, didn't they? Of the
exactly, they got to the final. So you look at did they get to the final or semi-final? Sorry, my bad.
They lost to Colombia.
Yeah, that's right. It's a semi-final. They got knocked out. You look at Bentancur, and like you said, he has had a mixed summer. Obviously, doing well with the Copa America, and then obviously what has been at the tip of everyone's tongue, that whole affair you were discussing. I really listen. If Bentancur's on fire, he's a tremendous, tremendous player. But like you said, he's come back from that. He came back from the Matty Cash injury, and he hasn't been able to get back. And if let's put it this way, I don't know what you two guys think. If tomorrow we're playing Leicester, Archie Gray is the first midfielder I'm picking, and that's my personal choice. And whether people want to agree with that or not, that's totally fair. But for me, honestly, I think this guy is going to do bits. I think James Maddison starts because we need that creativity. That's not to say players aren't coming in. I'm saying as we are now. Yeah. And I think it's between. Then you've got between Sarr, Bentancur, and Bissouma. And personally, I'm kind of leaning towards Bentancur, but only because I know what he can do. That's the only thing. I don't know. Who would your 3 be, guys?
I'm looking at, first of all, if I was going to play Gray and Maddison, I will go with Biss, just to give you that little bit of solidity there in behind those two. But my three is a very tricky one.
Can I say the only thing I'd say about Archie Gray, because I just had a quick look at Twitter before we started the show, and Windy Coys from the Extra Inch Chris was saying that completely agreed with all of us on how brilliant Archie Gray was, especially when he was playing at centre-half, but he felt a little bit when he moved into that kind of 6 role that there were a few more occasions where he could have been a bit braver turning it round the corner, and he actually went back a little bit. But what I would also say on playing devil's advocate to that is I think pretty much that's the first time he's played in central midfield for Spurs at all, so he's probably just trying to get to grips with his positioning and stuff. What I'd say about Bergvall, though, is that he is... And Bergvall and Gray seem to have a nice relationship struck up already on and off the pitch. But Bergvall is just fearless in terms of the positions he takes up. Yeah. Like, he is fluid. He does not care. And he will do the same thing every time, which is, can I get past the player? Can I progress the ball? Can I manipulate the ball around a corner? And so Bergvall, for me... I personally think Bergvall, based on the little I've seen, it's a small sample size, but I wouldn't be afraid to play him against Leicester at all.
I mean, that's what we did with Dele Alli when he got his first goal, wasn't it? He scored his first goal against Leicester, and then the rest was history.
I was there, yeah. That's
right. We've got such a crop of youngsters. It's whether, and again, at the moment, we don't know what's going to come in the next few weeks, and if there will be another midfielder that comes in out of this 3 that we're meant to be signing, who knows? It's, do you know what? It's a nice decision, or a tough decision for the manager to have, but a lovely decision for us to look at, isn't it? And question what's the dynamics, what's he going to do? So I don't know, but with Mia, I'm still very, very wary of Basuma. If he's on fire, he's great, but when he's not, he offers so little for me, and I don't know what Basuma we're going to get at the start. Hopefully we'll see more of him in the build-up. Listen, we've got what? Bayern Munich twice and another team from the Far East before we start. So he started giving people more than 45 minutes, didn't he? Some players started getting the extra minutes, and I think these are players that he probably has in mind for the start at Leicester. So they're getting more minutes in their game, getting their body conditions ready. And we're just going to have to wait and see. But overall, I think the youngsters, again, today, outshone the first teamers. The football in the second half has looked like what we saw the first 10 games. More fluid compared to what we've seen in the first half. And let's just see what the rest of the summer brings. And let's get ready to go against Leicester.
Completely agree, Brian. Mate, thanks so much for calling in. I'll be in on Wednesday for the next friendly. Give me a call after that if you can.
What time's kick-off on that one, Barnaby?
Is it afternoon? I think it's afternoon.
12
o'clock.
I'm 5 hours behind you. I think it's kicking off at 7 a.m. here, so it'll be a better time of the day for me to get up rather than 5:30. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your show and the weekend, and I will speak to you very soon. Later.
Top man, Brian. Thanks a lot.
Take it easy, Daigle.
Man. Let's just go through a few little comments before we go to our next caller. Scott M says, Archie Gray has done nothing this pre-season or last season show. He's close to ready to start. I don't get why our fans want hype over substance. Hippo Nerd says, Bentancur has some of the worst stats for the last season. Only Royal was worse. Tony Rodriguez, thanks for writing in, mate. The doctors have said that Bentancur will hopefully be back to his old self in November to December, but he's been playing in the Europe, in the Copa America, so that can't be right. Robert Young, Kulu is strong on the ball, can learn to hold up the ball. Anyway, I thought I heard central midfield was his preferred position. I believe that Kulu can be an asset in the central midfield position, getting more goals and assists. Avon Ho says, young players have got nothing to lose and better stamina, no weights on them, and they can freely express themselves.
Fully agree with that guy, yes. They honestly, they showed us today that they're not fearful of anyone. They go off, they'll play their football, and I'm really excited.
I agree with all that. Is there an element, though, to have to say that obviously the opposition made lots of changes in the second half too?
There is, and that they're tiring legs, and they are halfway through the season, and you'd expect there to be more space in the game, but you still have to go out and do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you still have to, and they still went out there. They still found the winner, and got the job done. And yeah, look, just to go back to what Scott M said there about Archie Gray, I don't know what match you were watching, mate, but in that first half, Archie Gray was probably the best player on the pitch. So to say he's done nothing,
just someone trying to get a reaction.
I
It's
don't
fine.
know.
It's all good. Guys, before we go on to our next caller, please don't forget, press subscribe to We Are Tottenham TV if you haven't already. Also, give this video a like. Get it up the algorithm. We want more people watching and listening. And you can find my channel at @BarnabySlater_, where I do daily Spurs transfer videos all this summer. Give me a subscribe there. I'm nearly at 10,000 subscribers. I want to get over that line. Okay, let's move on. We've got Vini Jr. having a beer. I don't think it's Vini Jr., is it? Let's be honest.
It's the real Vini Jr.
It's the real Vini Jr. How you doing, mate?
I'm good.
Oh.
You can hear me?
Yeah, you're just quite quiet. Can you get a bit closer to your microphone, maybe? How did you feel about the game anyway, mate?
Good. Thought it was pretty fun. Like, I didn't actually watch it because I was doing something different, but I kept checking the scores, and Mikey Moore was going on the score sheet, 3 goals in 3 games, and what can I say? Like, what more can you say about this fella? He's going to be brilliant, and can't wait for him to score against Leicester on the opening day on Monday Night Football. Like, what is it with us on Monday Night Football? We had one last year against London rivals Chelsea, and we know how that turned out. 15 minutes, we go 1-0 up, then the West is hand. But Monday Night Football, I think it's actually worked for us a couple of times. We won games and we lost one. Like, it's actually worked out well, but I thought, yeah, 3-2 I'll take. And next game, I don't know who's the team we're playing, Bayern Munich, ain't it?
Yeah. That's right. Mate, I'm afraid your connection is really, really bad, so I'm going to have to ask you to kind of cut off, and maybe we'll try and get you on a bit later. But if we don't manage to get round to you, we'll definitely speak to you again on Wednesday. But you're just really fuzzy, and a lot of people in the comments are saying they can't hear you.
All right,
Take care, KPV.
Should I leave, come back in?
Yeah, just cut yourself out now, mate, and if we can find time at the end, we'll come back to you. It's just you're really fuzzy, so we can't really understand what you're saying.
Can't really hear you.
Sorry, mate. Okay, let's move on to the man with the greatest microphone in the history of microphones. I've missed it over the summer. I cannot handle my life without that microphone.
It changes colour.
He's in a club. He's on a rave. It's all happening. Tiptop Tottenham. How are you, mate? Oh, are you on mute? Have you muted yourself? Oh, we're back. We've got you.
There we go.
You got me now?
Yeah, I got you now. How are you doing? How's your summer been?
Doing well. Summer was good. I am incredibly excited and happy with what I just saw. I thought the performance, especially towards the end of the match, with all of the young talent out there, I mean, you have to be excited. There's no other reason but to be excited. There's so many players that you could talk about that had a really positive performance today.
Totally. So let's ask you who your favourite was. Who's the one that's got you most excited with the season only 3 weeks away?
Well, I think in terms of the first team, a lot of people had been giving Archie Gray a lot of flowers, and I think deservedly so. He played really well. I think he looks confident when he's on the ball and possesses a calmness that you really need when you're playing central defensive midfielder or in the back line, which is where he plays. So I think that has looked like a really quality signing so far. I'm very excited to see what he can do this upcoming season. And then how can I not mention the midfield maestro? I've never seen this kid so confident. Lucas Bergvall, to me, he just seems like a showman, like that he really enjoys the crowd and the entertainment aspect of the game. And I think that is such a fun thing to have in a player on your team.
Completely agree. I think he's going to be an amazing player. I've been saying it all afternoon. He reminds me of a mix of Martin Odegaard and Luka Modric, and I just want us to do whatever it takes to allow his fearlessness and the fearlessness of all those young players.
He tackles like Paul Scholes.
Well, and he's got a bit of bite about him as well. Yeah, I mean, we have to be patient with him as well because he'll probably get himself sent off every so often.
He might do.
But
he might do.
One thing we haven't talked about during this fan phone-in show so far is Pedro Porro's goal and Pedro Porro's performance. Thought he looked good again, taking up some good spaces and very composed in the final third. Are you excited for him this coming season?
I'm so glad that you mentioned Porro, Barnaby, because that's who I was going to talk about next, actually. I just think that in terms of the discourse in right backs and the best right backs in the world, that Poro's name is just slandered on so much, especially outside of the Tottenham fan base. I think a lot of our fan base realizes how good he is, but for whatever reason, I don't think that he's getting the recognition he deserves. He is class going forward. I mean, he's able to offer creativity. He's trained himself up to become a stout defender. I would say he's not someone that you can really take lightly going backwards either. So I think he's such a top talent. Honestly, I hope we can hold on to him for as long as we can. And I think it was really encouraging seeing Jed Spence play as well as he did again in the second half, because that just opens up a lot of the transfer funds that may have had to have gone to that position eventually, and ideally goes into the forward line. So, yes, I thought that was really encouraging. I think between Destiny and then Poro and Spence, if Spence can continue this performance level, we're really set at that position. So I think that's really encouraging from today.
Oh, I completely agree with you there, Tip Top. And to be honest with you, there's one player that really stood out to me as well that came on there. I'd love to get your views on it. Jamie Donnelly. He came on, got an assist, hit the post. You know, he's part of the play. He's been playing out of position. He's over there at left back. You know, tell me what your thoughts are on young Donnelly.
Yes, so Donnelly actually has been my favorite of the new academy products coming up. And obviously, since I had known about him, he's been a central attacking midfielder and doing it at a high level for the level that he was playing at, you know, winning Premier League 2 Player of the Month awards at that position. Yeah. And now I'm sure Ange has had a conversation with him saying, hey, you know, we like you a lot, but I think we want to try you at left back. And I think that he hasn't, taken any sort of disrespect towards that at all. And I think that he's really embraced it and saying, you know, I want to put my best foot forward in terms of being able to offer as much as I can to the team. And I think that it shows in his play that, you know, he really does try and put everything out there for the badge. So it's great to see.
Oh, I really agree with that. And I think, the way he's applied himself to that position and for his performance today, he's really, you know, if he's basically knocking on the manager's door saying, am I in this squad, please? You know, right. Because he's so talented. And like you said, you know, playing out a position and just being willing to take that role on the way he has, very, very impressive, I must say. And, of course, we got the young talent, the young Mikey Moore. Tell me, what does the future have in store for Mikey?
The future for Mikey Moore is whatever Mikey Moore wants it to be honest. I mean, I don't know if I've seen a talent this young at this club be as productive as he's able to be. I think it's every game. I mean, he is just offering everything that he can and is always in a good goal scoring position, it seems. Obviously, with the header that he had been on goal for, that could have been a second goal for him today. And I think that he's going to watch it back and really regret that he didn't take it better than he did. So I think he's such a top talent, honestly. Putting the ball in the back of the net is the hardest thing to do in the sport. And when you have a talent so young, able to do it so consistently, you just pay the kid whatever he wants, honestly. I just don't think that we should let him go at any cost.
Pay him whatever he wants, but also don't pay him so much that he loses commitment and focus.
Definitely, no.
We don't want him turning up in the training ground with in a Bentley.
No Bentleys, okay, Mike. He hasn't even got a license yet. He's 16. He hasn't even got his license yet. So no Bentleys, no Ferraris, no Lambos. Get him a nice chauffeur.
He must still be at school, mustn't? Is he at school? How does that work?
Well, yeah, he must still be doing his GCSEs. Well, he might have done his GCSEs. Just finished his GCSEs. Bloody hell. Yeah. Incredible.
Maybe like very top good. 10 on the wage bill sounds right. Somewhere like that. Not too high, not too low. I don't know.
Mate, thank you so much for calling in. I'll be here again after the game on Wednesday, so give me a shout after that as well. And have a great rest of your week.
Have a good day.
All the best, brother. Take care.
And guys, if you're watching at home and you don't already, make sure you subscribe to Tiptop Tottenham. Make sure you subscribe to We Are Tottenham TV as well here. Also, you can find my channel where I do daily transfer and Spurs videos at @BarnabySlater_. Go and give me a subscribe. I'm nearly at 10,000 subscribers. We are boiling to death in this studio, and we don't have any more callers in, so I think we're going to say goodbye for that one. It's been a great day, though. 3-2 win against Vissel Kobe, or Kobe, as I've been told to call them.
Kobe.
Amazing goal from Pedro Porro. Amazing performances from Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall, Mikey Moore, Alfie Devine, and all the young Spurs talent that we have coming through the ranks in the second half. Amir, it's been wonderful to be with you today.
Pleasure to see you after too long of a break, Barnaby. Too long of a break.
Completely agree, and it's very exciting to have Spurs back in our lives, and it'd be beautiful to watch. To dare is to do. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.